Math is a class in which many students have trouble succeeding in. A lot of these reasons are because of the way that math is taught. In my own experiences, math has revolved around direct instruction and independent work with abstract problems. I had always thought of teaching math as daunting, but this course has helped me to equip myself with strategies and information to help me teach math in a more authentic way. Throughout this course, we have been learning about the importance of how the content and process standards, what we teach versus how we teach, guided practice and theories. Developing mathematical proficiency has also been a major component of this course. Mathematical proficiency helps students learn new concepts effectively, have increased retention and recall, enhance problem-solving skills, and improve attitudes and beliefs about mathematics. This semester, we had the opportunity to teach at Ward Elementary and apply what we learned in class with a group of students. I had 4 students in 3rd grade in my small group throughout the semester, 1 girl and 3 boys. Throughout our time together, I was able to learn more about teaching math in a more authentic way. Our main focus throughout our lessons was guided practice and formative assessment. In our time together, I definitely learned more from them than they did from me. Getting to work with these students helped me develop my own philosophy of teaching mathematics. Having students work collaboratively with one another was a beneficial and effective way to get students to learn mathematical concepts. When students are able to collaborate with one another, they gain a deeper understanding of the content. In this course, we also learned of Vygotsky's social constructivism theory and how it connects with guided practice in math. A huge component of Vygotsky's theory is collaborating and communicating. What this looked like for me in the field was creating activities during guided practice that prompted collaboration and critical thinking. Students had to work together in many of the guided practice activities and made connections with one another about the content that they were learning. Having students work together is proven to help them in the long run. In conjunction with collaboration, students engaged in their zone of proximal development by working alongside each other and pushing one another. Each student brought their own level of knowledge and different way of thinking to the small group. I had one student in particular who had little to no problem with the content of the lessons, while another student was struggling more than the rest. Pairing these students together proved to help the one student who was struggling with the concrete way of thinking with manipulatives. When students are given the help that they need by their peers and other more knowledgeable others like me as their teacher, their zone of proximal development widens and they are able to gain a deeper understanding of mathematical concepts. In Piaget's cognitive constructivism theory, I learned more about the developmental stages of learning and their importance. Growing up, my teachers had always jumped into abstract thinking and all I ever learned was formulas and how to execute problems, but I could never explain why certain things happened in math. There are 3 stages to the developmental stages of learning. The first stage is the concrete stage, or the doing stage, in which the student physically manipulates materials to solve a mathematical problem. In the second stage, the representational stage, the student uses images like diagrams, graphics, and charts to best represent actual manipulatives used to solve a problem. And in the final stage, the abstract stage, the concept or mathematical idea is represented with only symbols and abstract numerals. In order for students to be successful in the last stage, connections must have already been established in the visual processing centers of their brains. Lastly, creating anchor charts with my students for every lesson helped not only for the direct instruction portion of my lesson, but it also helped my students learn the vocabulary. Vocabulary is such an important component to teaching math because it helps students to have access to the language of mathematics. My time in this class and in the field has helped me shape my developing philosophy of mathematics. Math should be a diverse and collaborative environment in which students build their knowledge with one another and explore different ways to solve problems. True learning happens when students are making connections, communicating, and using manipulatives. Having formative assessments helps me as the teacher to keep track of each of my students' progress and learning. This helps me to better meet the needs of each of my students and scaffold those who need extra help. Fostering growth mathematical mindset in my classroom is another key component that I hope to teach in my classroom. It is my hope to use theory, content and process standards, and tools for teaching math in my future classroom to help students reach mathematical proficiency.